Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon to those who are joining us from different time zones, and good evening to the other participants joining us from far off, like Malaysia and the Philippines. And we are very pleased to have you all here on the closing ceremony of the Channeling Intellectual Potentials program, and we hope to have with us the other participants join us in a bit. But without further ado, we wish to acknowledge the presence of most of our guest speakers who are here with us already. And we are sure to begin in under 5 minutes from now. And we just give it few more minutes for the others to join us, and we'll be sure to begin. Thank you all, and do feel at home. Good afternoon once more, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the closing ceremony of the Channeling Intellectual Potential programs for our first batch closing ceremony. And we are pleased to say it's been a very successful and eventful training session, and it spanned for the entire month of July, and we are now at the close of the program. And you'll be pleased to note that the program began with 33 persons or participants who applied, and of the 33 that were approved, we are certain of about 22 participants who have pulled through the program, and they have successfully made it to the end. And while today we are about to share with you our experiences and equally celebrate those who have been able to make wonderful strides and progress throughout the entire training program, we would equally like to take a moment to get to know ourselves a little bit. I am your presenter, Kwe Stephen Nkiambo, and I am the programs director for the CIP program. And our co-host is Dr. Yawat Ansel Michel, who is equally a fellow member of the Young African Leaders Initiative program of West Africa Regional Learning Center, Accra. And we are all of the public policy and management track. And this program is an offshoot of the YALI community service programs, which has given us the impetus in order to prepare this, to make this event possible. And likewise, equally make sure that the training program equally runs through from the start to its end and gain the results for which it has already gained thus far. And I guess I would leave it at this point here for Dr. Yawat himself to introduce himself, and then we can hear from the other participants who are here with us. And then we'll be sure to get into all the other aspects and the rundown of the day. Dr. Yawat. Dr. Michel. I do not know, can you all hear me from my end?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I thought perhaps I was talking to myself. Dr. Yawat, are you there with us? Okay. Could you please kindly introduce yourself, and then we can move on to the introduction of other participants, such that our guests with us get to know each other, and we can set the ball rolling for the event of today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen. My name's Dr. Yawat Michel. I'm the co-host of this CIP formation. So I'm very delighted and happy to have you all at this closing ceremony. Having you is very, 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 very encouraging for us to share our experiences and try like to catch up on all the various schedule that we set on our project. Thank you very much for your kind and your warm participation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yawad, for that, for those few words. And we would like to hear from some of the other participants who are here with us. And we know the routine when it comes to self-introduction, briefly about yourself, what you engaged in, and then briefly where you are coming from and where you're joining us from. And I believe we can begin with Fobaso Nue.
Yes. Hello, I get me?
Can hear you. Go on, Nue.
Okay, thank you. Good evening to everybody. Sorry, yes, it was evening. Good afternoon to everybody there. My name is Fobaso Noe Leroy. I'm from Cameroon. I study theology in the University of Tangaza, there in Nairobi, presently based in Malaysia for experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nue. And can we have Belinda?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Belinda Fola. I am in Boya presently. I have been participating in the program and I am so glad to be part of it. At least I'm glad I came to the end of the program. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much, Belinda. And can we have Bernadette and Loic?
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. My name is Andong Bernadette Enenwe. I am a member of the Young African Leadership Initiative, Yali Cohort 42. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bernadette. Can we have Fobaso, not Fobaso, but Loic next? Loic. If we don't have Loic, can we move on to Chiasam?
Hello, good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Mona Sirichias. I'm currently based in the Philippines, a student from Tangaza University College, Nairobi, currently on internship or on a missionary experience here in the Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cyril. So those are the participants who are here with us online. As for the rest, they make up part of our guests whom we have on the program today with us, on the closing ceremony program with us today, in the persons of Mr. Anthony Onukba and Ajoa Akyemang, who is of Accra Regional Learning Center of the Yali program. And we would be pleased to let you know that, like we rightly said from the very onset, myself and Dr. Yawad, we are both fellows of the Young African Leaders Initiative and of the 42nd cohort. And as well with us here is Bernadette, who's been a very good team player with us all through from the start till this very point in time. And we have been able to run this program and guide it right through to its successful end, though we still have so many other aspects and modes for continuation for the next set of trainings. And as of now, we would like to just take a moment briefly to get to know some of our partners. And just a moment, please.
Stephen, everything is okay?
Sorry about that. I got sidetracked with a call that just came in, and sorry about the inconvenience caused there. It was pretty urgent. I'm very sorry. And getting back, currently, I was about talking about the Channeling Intellectual Potential Program. The Channeling Intellectual Potential Program is a virtual training series for young people in personal and professional skills development. And it was based upon the background that a good number of young persons in Cameroon, and in our case, probably the southwest and the northwest regions of Cameroon, which were affected by the socio-political crisis in Cameroon, which has been ranging on for over 7 years counting, has seen a decline in leaving youths frustrated and idle, and a good number of youths had tremendous potential, yet they did not know how to harness this potential for self and community growth. Thus arose the need for the Channeling Intellectual Potential program. Having this backdrop of the program, it enabled us to look for avenues in which we could engage the participants who would probably enroll on the program, and then give them that training which we thought was going to help them to harness that potential within them and make it useful in their community. And the program was spread across in several areas and segments like goal setting and personal development. And under this program, they were able to get aspects like defining and setting achievable goals, and how to improve time management and organizational skills. And they were taught how to develop strategies for personal growth and self-improvement. They talked on, we had a topic on the effective communication and skills building, which was meant to enhance their verbal and nonverbal communication skills, and then active listening and empathy, and equally help them in conflict resolution and assertive communication techniques. We equally moved on to have a career development and job search strategies, where we explored the different career paths and opportunities available to young persons. And we equally had the opportunity to look at resume and cover letter writing strategies and tips, and how to face interviews and job search strategies. And likewise, the program equally went on to cover a module on the leadership and teamwork, where participants were being given an overview on how to understand the principles of effective leadership, building and managing a successful team, develop skills in collaboration and conflict resolution. And furthermore, on another topic to which they covered, one of the modules covered emotional intelligence, another covered networking and professional relationships, financial literacy and money management, and entrepreneurship and innovation. And lastly, one of the modules, which was an intended bonus module for those of them who were moving into, who probably be employers or probably get employed, to know their rights when they are working wherever they are. We included a module on the sexual exploitation and abuse. Of these key areas of the program, which was launched, the participants were all supposed to go through the 9 different course modules and complete them, as well as complete several sets of other 6 courses, which were centered around social entrepreneurship, which they were able to successfully complete as a result of the entire program. And basically, that's the long and short of the Channeling Intellectual Potentials program and what it's been able to achieve thus far. So I would be bringing us to the next phase of our program, which would be the just a moment, please. The next phase here, which would be partnership and guest presentations, where we would have the chance to introduce some of our guests and then get to know them and have them share their experiences with us in order to equally boost the morale of most of the participants who are here on air with us. And first off, amongst the participants whom we, the guests of honor of the day, we have Miss Ajoa, who is here representing the Young African Leaders Initiative program of the Regional Learning Center, West Africa, Ghana. And we would like to equally ask her to just take a moment to introduce herself, and then we can hear from some of the other presenters who are here with us briefly, and then we will come back to them when each one is given a slot to maybe do a short presentation afterwards. Ms. Ajoa, you have the mic.
I'm here. Thank you so much, Stephen. Hi, everyone. I wanted to show myself. I don't know if you can see me. So I'm with the Yali Regional Leadership Center. It's great. It's amazing hearing about this program. Thank you so much, Stephen, for inviting me, and well done to you three, Bernadette, Dr. Yerwat, and Stephen. Well done, and great to meet everybody. As I said, I'm with the Yali Regional Leadership Center. I'm in Ghana, and yeah, as Stephen has rightly said, 3 of our participants from Cohort 42 are the ones that have been running this program. And so nice to meet everyone once again.
Thank you very much, Ajoa. And can we have Anthony? Tony, are you there?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anthony Nuba. I'm speaking with you from Nigeria. I work with Writer Space Africa, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much, Tony, for that introduction of yourself. And like we said earlier, we are going to have the first part, which has to function and which is going to cover partnership and guest presentations. And just before we get to that, I guess let me just give you a rundown of some of the partners. Then before we can get back to the presenters, and we would be coming back, the first presenter up would be Ms. Ajoa of the Regional Learning Center of Accra. But first off, let's have some of the partners. A moment, please. Can you see my screen?
We can't see. Are you projecting something on the screen? Because we don't see.
I am at the moment.
Oh, no, we don't
probably
see.
the relayed feedback from the connection. Let me just see what to do about that.
Okay.
Okay, try again. Can you see now?
Yeah, we can see now.
Okay. All right, so basically our partners, as you can all see, first on the page you have here in front of you, we have Tanko Marceline Fegen, who is the executive director of Family World International. And she's the executive director of Family World International, and she's one of our very key partners. And most of our partners were the persons who equally gave us the initial impetus, reviewed some of our initial programs and how we're going to go about it, the modules, and they gave us both technical and oversight support in order to make sure that the program was possible. So first off, we have Tanko Marceline Fegen, who is the executive director of Family World International. And Family World International is a non-governmental NGO, and it's focused on the humanitarian activities, focusing its attention particularly to women and the girl child. And next we have Christopher Akere-Achu, who is the founder of Akere-Achu's Advisory. And he was the brain behind the whole aspect of including a module on the career development and coaching. And he gave us the initial insights on how to go about making the training possible for participants in this particular key area. And Akere Actual Advisory is a transformational, it's a professional transformational organization that works in curriculum designs and job transformation. And that's basically some of the key areas in which Akere Actual Advisory functions in. And then SunSafe, the founder of SunSafe, Nwambe Mekila Felix, who is the founder of SunSafe Solutions. SunSafe Solutions, it's an organization that is involved in climate change and making use of the power of the sun. So it's basically focuses energy on harnessing the power of the sun in order to provide lighting for communities in Cameroon and in Africa. And it's been able to execute its projects across the Northwest and the Southwest regions, which are the key area of our focus for most of our participants who are a part of this program. And I believe most of their families who've been able to benefit as a result of the SunSafe Solutions program. And that's the impetus for which SunSafe came on board as our partner. Then next we have Routine, and the founder of Routine, represented by Nane Edmond, who is the founder of Routine. He was one of our presenters and key facilitators throughout the training program, particularly on the modules on effective communication and effective presentation. So he was able to do cover a huge aspect of our first set of 2 webinar sessions from the very beginning, and he's been a very, very tremendous help to us. And Routine is more like a magazine that writes and encourages young Cameroonians to pick up the habit of reading. It's trying to inculcate that habit of reading, that culture of reading in young Cameroonians, and equally valorize and bring out their writing skills to the world, such that they too can be able to effectively communicate their ideas from their background and share them with the rest of the world. And lastly, we have Anthony Onugba. And for the sake of not trying to pour more water into the whole aspect of what Writerspace Africa is all about, since Anthony is with us, he would have the chance to present to us about Writerspace. And when the time does come, he would have the chance to tell you all about Writerspace Africa. I guess I'm going to leave that bit about him. As for the others, they are not here with us, and we have hoped that they will be here with us, but it's equally understandable too that other commitments are pretty pressing at the moment, and they can't be a part with us. But literally, these are the partners that we've had on board. And lastly, the key partner, which we've all had from the very beginning, it's wait, okay, and lastly, here is the team for the CIP program. Myself, Ube Stephen, who is the programs director, Yawat Ansel Michelle, who is the programs manager, and Andong Bernadette, who is the participants manager. So basically, we've been the team that has been able to make this program worthwhile, and we've also received lots of technical support and oversight technical support from others, which we've already shared their involvement within the program. And at the bottom, you can see the Yali Regional Leadership Center logo. And those are the key partners for whom we are offshoots from their program. And this program is a community service program that was instituted by the Young Africa, the Yali program. And we are privileged to be a part of it. And moving forward with this, I believe it's been one of those very great and insightful moments. And Mr. Joe would have the opportunity to tell us a lot more about Yali. So I'm not going to really spend my time talking about Yali, but you would definitely get a foretaste of what Yali is all about. And It is on this note that I would like to call on Mr. Joa, if you're here with us, and then you can kindly just have the floor on your presentation, and we follow through from that. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. I think I told you earlier, I apologize, everyone. I have a few technical hitches with my laptop and sorry, and with the timing of how we were able to prepare for this, I kind of had to go through a few protocols and we kind of put everything together last minute. So I don't have anything to present. However, I will speak of the program, and I guess if you have any questions, I'm here to answer, and I'll just share my video.
Yeah, sure.
I can't, yeah, since I can't share anything, I'll share my video. Okay, so once again, I'm Ajwa Jaman. I'm with the Content and Curriculum Unit of the YALI RLC. We call it the YALI RLC. So it's the YALI. So YALI is Young African Leaders program. And then the RLC is a regional leadership center. And so YALI has 3 arms. They have the state, there's 2 arms that are managed from the State Department, and then there's one that's managed regionally within Africa. So you have the YALI Learns, and then you have the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Those 2 are managed from the State Department, and then you have the regional leadership centers that are managed within the regions of Africa. We have 4 of them. We have one in Ghana, which services 9 countries. And this one is the one that your trainers were part of. So the ones that Stephen and Dr. Yarwat and Bernadette are part of the Ghana RLC, so the Ghana Regional Leadership Center. We have one in Kenya that services the surrounding area around Kenya or East Africa. We have one in South Africa, which services Southern Africa. And then we have one for the French-speaking regions. We have that in Dakar, which again is West Africa, but they service all of the French-speaking countries within Africa. We do not have any regional centers in the northern part of Africa, but again, that could always happen sometime in the future. In regards to the program, as Stephen had mentioned, they were part of the public management track. The program has 3 tracks. We have the civic leadership and social enterprise track, which deals with, you know, I'm sure you can think of like NGOs and social enterprises, any kind of organization, I guess, that looks at giving back to the community, which basically is a social enterprise. So we have that track. Then we have the public management track, which deals more with policies and anything having to do with that arena. And then we have the business and entrepreneurship track, which as you probably can see, that it has to do with business startups, anything that has to do with any kind of personal venture that you've come up with on your own, as opposed to just working for a business. So something that you're doing on your own. So those are the 3 tracks we have. With our center, we offer the training in 2 modes. So we either offer it online, which is the medium that your leaders participated in. That one is very competitive. Usually with online, we're able to service more people. And so your leaders are part of, I think, over 200 other participants from spread out across from the 9 countries. And so that makes it very competitive, very vibrant, colorful, and very insightful for all of us, because you've got so many minds all on one platform, just sharing ideas. It was such a learning experience for us at the RLC, and I'm sure also for the participants as well. Then we also have the in-person training, which is kind of like a hybrid. So we still have the online training for 2 weeks. So they go online, they train on the same platform that your leaders were part of. And then after, they come to the RLC for 3 weeks and they engage with us, learning the same things, being part of the same type of program that your leaders were part of as well. It's just that it's on-site versus online. Obviously with the online, we're able to reach more people. we've seen so many promising alumni come out of that program, and I'm blown away from this program right now. I can tell you that. I'm so impressed with what Stephen, you and your team, Bernadette and Dr. Awad have done. It speaks to the goals of YALI, because we're looking at a step down training from YALI. So whatever anyone learns from YALI, the goal is for our alumni to take what they've learned and to use it within their communities, you know, and to offer step down training or train the trainer or any kind of thing that emanates from the program. And that's exactly what you guys have done. And so you've helped us complete some of our goals. My director, I wish I could share her comment, but she said that, you know, kudos to you guys because you helped us address the goals that we have for our program. And so thank you so much for that. So just letting you know also, so with this program, there is a component where after you train online or on-site, for the on-site people, they go back to their countries. For online already, you're already online. Then there's a second phase of the program where you're supposed to engage in either a community service project, an internship, so if you can find somewhere to do an internship, or I think those are the two. So community service or internship. And then after you do either one of those, you also have to engage in the mentorship program. And so you would have to find a mentor and then have that mentor mentor you for about a month. And then after that, you are required to do a final report based on the whole experience. So we are waiting for the report of Stephen, Bernadette, and Dr. Yawatz, because we are just so impressed with this program. And it would just be so interesting to find out what precipitated the program, what informed the program, how it was formed. We'd like to learn about the participants. I've had a chance to hear about some of the participants here, but we'd love to know more about you, how this program impacted you, what you're taking away from it, how you're going to use it for yourselves. And we're just so interested in knowing just how this program, the total effect of it on all stakeholders involved. And so looking forward to that final report from each of you, from Stephen, Dr. Yarwat, and Bernadette. And so that's YALI in a nutshell. We just recruited for cohort. So Stephen is part of cohort 42. We had cohort 43 while they were training. We have now recruited for cohort 44 online. They're about to start, I think, towards the end of the month. Then after that, we have a special cohort, that's for, that was an initiative that actually Kamala Harris actually came to Ghana, and she initiated that initiative. So it's for climate change and technology. And so we are pioneering that. And that one is actually going to involve all of Africa. So we're using all of the RLCs, are recruiting participants, and they're all going to train on our platform for 2 weeks, and then they're all coming to Ghana to complete the training. So that's a pioneering cohort that we have. I think we're actually still recruiting for that one. So if anyone is in the climate change sphere, and you want more information about it, definitely reach out to me. You can reach out to Stephen or Bernadette or Dr. Yawat, and they can get in touch with me. And I believe that application is still open, and I can actually share the flyer with Stephen, Bernadette, or Dr. Yawat. And so after that, then we'll go into cohort 47. We encourage you to apply. For anybody that wants more information about that, you can always ask Stephen, Bernadette, or Dr. Yawat. They can let you know about the application process and what exactly you need to apply. And so I think I'm done. Again, I wanted to congratulate Stephen, Dr. Yawat, and Bernadette for this Herculean job. I don't know how you did it. You spent it. I mean, you went above and beyond the requirements for community service. And so I have to applaud you for that. That's amazing. And I also have to applaud the participants, because to stay on a program for that long and to complete all of the courses, and it seemed like there was a lot there, very rewarding, but it still seems like there was a lot of courses there. I have to applaud you as well. And so applause for everyone. Applause for everyone for completing this program and for leading it. And so I think that's about it for me. Thank you so much for your time. And again, thank you for the invitation and look forward to hearing about all of your experiences. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much, Ajoa, for those very succinct words and a very clear picture of the YALI program. And I believe that you just probably whetted the appetite of some of the participants who are here with us, and those who would probably have to watch a rebroadcast of this on our YouTube platform. Once the video is ready, I think that will be uploaded on the platform such that those who missed out on the closing ceremony today would be able to have a rewatch the closing ceremony from the start through to its end. And probably they would be pleased to hear about some of these insights which you've been able to share so kindly and so generously with us. And I don't think we are done just yet. And this is the opportunity for the participants to engage Ms. Ajoa here with questions and with your own feedback about what she's been able to present to you. What's your feeling? I'm now referring to the participants. What's your feeling after listening to this presentation from Ms. Ajoa, as she was able to elaborately tell us about the Young African Leaderships Initiative program? And do you feel like you can be a part of it? You're free to unmute yourself and then or simply raise your hand. We give you the floor to speak, and or you can type in the comment section and we'll be sure to read the comments. The silence is deafening. It almost seems like we are talking to ourselves right now. Anyone from among the participants here with us? Louis, Nue, Flavian? Cyril, anyone? Or am I talking to myself here, please?
We can hear you. I just hope no one's intimidated by anything that was said. I think Stephen and Bernadette and Dr. Yuat, you can even tell your participants about your journey, just the whole application, how you, were able to apply for it. Our criteria, you're welcome, Bernadette. Our criteria is manifold, when we're doing the recruitment process. And so basically we're looking for anyone with leadership skills. So I'll leave it at that. I'll let you guys be the testimonies of our program.
Okay. Perhaps because after this, we are going to have a post-training survey, which would be shared to, which has already been shared to them. I probably all received emails about that. And maybe they'll be much more willing to share their feedback from there. But as of now, okay, if there are no questions, then we'll probably have to move on to the next person of the day.
Stephen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, in other way I can understand the silence being observed by the participant because they were not expecting the presence of a very high personality like this. Suddenly, they were nice. So for more accurate information, Ajoa was has been very, very helpful in the yearly program. She mastered it very properly. So in fact, you can just benefit from what she's saying. Let me just be very open. She is the key, let's just say keyword. If you master the Ajoa advices, you are open to yearly program.
Okay, thank you, Howard. Well, took me by surprise there. Okay.
Just to say something. Every one of us here is into one thing or the other. So you can either be in business or maybe in community service. This is an opportunity for you to connect, to get into Yali, the thing that is where we are. If you admire us or if I've heard about Yali somehow and you're interested in it, this is a time for you to contact Ajoa to help you in that. You have any question, you can ask. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Please don't be afraid. Just ask. She's very open. She will enlighten you in so many things. Just open up, please. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bernadette.
Yes, Stephen.
Yes, Nue.
Yeah, so thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to take this opportunity to thank first of all, because Mr. Yawa said it all, the silence. Myself, I was so speechless after listening to her because I do not even know how to start, how to refer to her, or what sort of things. So, but because I'm so excited, I've been part of a participant in this program, and it has really enriched me. Many, in fact, I don't know how I can appreciate, or especially the partners and those who have been joining with us throughout this program. To Mrs. or Madame Ajua, thank you so much for this opportunity. Myself, I'm in the field that tomorrow, if God's willing, I will be a leader. What do I mean? Is that I'm following the course, or maybe I'm the seminarian. In 2 years to come, I might be a priest, and I work with people, helping the young people. Because myself, my target, I have a dream, is to help young people, so that tomorrow, because I'm from Cameroon and I've seen the situation in Cameroon. Sometimes young people, they're so afraid to take up an initiative. Sometimes they prefer to say, okay, let me just content myself with this particular thing. They don't dream, they don't look how far, they don't look tomorrow for tomorrow. In fact, they're just so comfortable with what they have now, that they don't fight. They don't fight because, and that is why myself, I felt like I need to attend this course. I need to, so that I will know a lot of things. I will know how to go about all those things. So thank you so much. I've learned a great deal, and I will always remain thankful, especially for the whole team of this program. So that's all I want to say. I wanted to say, and to tell Madam Ajwa, thank you so much for this opportunity you are giving to many young people outside there. Thank you so much. Maybe for now you don't know what you are doing, but us participants, we know the impact that is doing in our lives, and we are ready to also share the talents, share what we have, so that tomorrow, just yesterday, I was listening to Niger, see how the coup d'etat and the many Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and all these type of things coming up. And then many people, young people, they say, we need this, we need coup d'etats, we need all these things. You see, young people are hurt. Young people now, in fact, there are a lot of things happening in our hearts. I'm a young man of 29 years old, and I know what I've gone through as a person. So this program is really, really helping us. So how can we impact our society, our community, the people where we live, our families? How can we impact them? And I will tell you, since I started this program, there are a lot of things that before I did not have that opportunity or the courage to present. But now I feel myself well equipped now. I can gather people and tell them, oh, we need to, like, I started with my family, I started some projects, big thanks to this program. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I think that I've spoken so long. Sorry for taking the time, and sorry also for keeping you waiting or my speaking. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Nue. It's good listening to what you had to say. So thank you for the feedback. It's a pleasure. And any other person, a reaction to Mr. Joa's presentation or your insights? We're pleased to hear them before we can have the next presenter of the day, Mr. Anthony. Okay, so I believe the silence means we are all in concord, and we can move forward. And so thank you, Mr. Joa, for for the highlight on the yearly program and the entire overview. And I believe when it comes to when the participants are willing to probably engage with us on the social media platform, which we have set up, they would probably be able to share their insights and where their worries are. And if they wish to get inquiries as to how to continue, we will be sure to supply them with that information moving forward to on any requirements regarding the yearly program. And so we can move on to our next presenter if he's there with us and if he's ready, then I believe we can have him. Tony, are you ready?
Hi, yes, I'm here and I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, so good day everyone once again. My name is Antonio Nuba. I'm the founder of Writers Space Africa. So I will try to give a brief overview of what Writers Space Africa is in the first instance and the kinds of things that we do. I hope I'm audible to start with.
You're very audible. I don't know about the others.
Okay, so first of all,
Yes, we can hear him.
Okay. Writers Space Africa was founded in 2016. At the time, it was a writers services outfit. It wasn't registered. It wasn't a company per se. It was just a unit. So what we were doing at that time was to try to promote African writers on our websites. We had a website where we would host a writer or 2 writers per month. We also had a forum, something similar to Facebook, but it was open source. So it wasn't as glamorous as Facebook, yes. And then we also had a page where people could request for our services. But going further than that, in December of 2016, we decided to begin a literary magazine, an African literary magazine. And that was what gave birth to our first edition of our magazine. At that time, it was called Writers Space. So we began in January of 2017 to publish a magazine monthly. So at the first of every month, we release a magazine. Then sometime in May, we added Africa to it. So the magazine is called Writers Space Africa, following by our name. So even if you check our website or if you Google Writers Space Africa, you will see us. And like I said, the magazine is released on the first of every month. So first of this month, 2 days ago, we released the August edition, which was the 80th magazine that we've worked on. So also, what we also did was to try to promote our languages in Africa. But of course, you know, we are a multi-ethnic society. Nigeria alone has over 200 ethnic groups. So we selected the major ones, French, Kiswahili, and English. So we started another magazine called Poetic Africa. Poetic Africa is strictly poetry. It's the first trilingual magazine in Africa, but it is published quarterly. So every month we publish 4. Now, we did this because we wanted to provide a platform where African creatives can publicize their works, you know, network, and then get to meet others. But rather than stop there, we created a virtual space where people could communicate together on WhatsApp. And from there, we realized that there is a need to go towards the grassroots. So because of that, we started having other chapters in other countries. Currently, we have about 21 countries where WSA is. In fact, Cameroon is one of the countries. There's WSA Cameroon. So having the virtual space wasn't enough for us. We felt that we should also have a physical space where people could come together and also meet one-on-one and network. But the challenge we faced is mobility, because for some, understandable reasons, travel by air is very expensive within Africa. So what we did was that we started what is called the African Writers Conference in 2018. With it, we also started the African Writers Awards because we wanted awards for Africans, judged by Africans, and of course, hosted by Africans. But in order to address the mobility issue, we decided that the conference should hold in one region per year. So in 2018, we held it, the maiden edition, we held it in Nigeria, West Africa. 2019, we held it in Kenya, East Africa. 2020 was in Zambia, Southern. 2021, we returned to East Africa in Tanzania. And last year, we were in Cameroon for the conference. Coincidentally, this year, the conference is holding in Ghana, in Accra, Ghana, November 1st to the 5th. So these are some of the things that we do at WSA. But of course, we have a lot of other initiatives that we put out there. One of it is the Creative Writing Academy, which we started last year. It's now in its second year. We're currently expecting the 6th cohort for the academy. We're also hosting the African Educational Debates currently. We started with about 17 countries, but for the next rounds of debates this Sunday, we're entering the semifinals. We have 4 countries left: Ghana, Cameroon, South Sudan, and Zambia. Yeah. So, and they'll be discussing about AI, artificial intelligence. From there, we're going to have the finals in 2 weeks' time. Apart from the debates, we're going to also have a literary quiz, continental literary quiz, in September. All of this would lead up to the conference itself, which will be in November in Ghana. Then in December, we're going to have the spoken word competition. We started last year. We give prize money, self-sponsored anyway. And then also, we are currently having, we've currently opened our YouTube channel to upload spoken word videos. So we have requested our poets and all creatives send in their videos where they recite their poems, and we upload it online. So we have that ongoing. We uploaded the first 2 on Sunday. So we are a whole lot, let me put it that way, we're a whole lot of creativity. And one of the things that is going for us is that we have passionate people behind the wheels. We are not an income generating outfit. We don't have any sponsorship from anywhere, but we have sustained the tempo and we are still doing what we do, which is of course what we love to do. So in a nutshell, that is WSA. And I think it's safe to say I would expect any questions. I pray there's no silence this time.
Thank you very much, Tony, for that presentation. I'm sorry I took you to unawares as I was putting up this. It just occurred to me that we could have probably even done the same too for the Yali presentation while Ajo was doing it, but it skipped my mind. So it just came to mind and said perhaps we project the website for Writerspace Africa such that the others can see the link and then get to know for themselves. You can always follow it, and I'll be putting up the link for Writerspace Africa as well as Yali in the chat box shortly, such that others can get to know about it directly by reading for themselves. Remember, at CIP, the idea is to engage the mind, there to think and then change the narrative. So it's not about us doing the thinking for you, but it's about you doing the thinking for yourself. I believe it's one of those things which we've been singing as a slogan from day one in our program right through to its end. So once we place the information in the chat box, be sure to go through it, read, and then get the information you need for yourself. The only person who doesn't really make progress in learning here in life is the person who does not open up their mind to read. And I believe since we're talking about Writerspace Africa, there it is. And we're open now to reactions from the participants. And like you heard Tony say, he really hopes it's not going to be dead silent. So we're going to give him that honor. raise your hand. Feel free to raise your hand.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Sure. Good evening, Cyril.
Yes, I want to thank Mr. Anthony for the sharing about Writer Space Africa. I'm very happy getting directly from him. I had a friend of mine who is working there in Kenya. It's just today that I've really got to understand more about Writer Space Africa. When I used to visit him there at the center, for me, it was just like, oh, this was a very, very small, maybe small organization, but getting to listen to the founder, I can really say I'm very, very happy. And in fact, I'm very, very happy listening from the founder. Thank you.
Thank you, Cyril. Any other reaction?
Okay, so before another reaction, let me first of all thank you for your comments and to also mention that coincidentally, Kenya has been the first in everything, almost everything WSA. For example, Kenya was the first to open a country chapter in 2019, just before the conference went to Kenya. And also last year in October, I was in Kenya to commission their office. They were also the first to open a physical office as well. They are the first to have a website, first to start their own magazine. I could list all the lots of firsts that they've been doing. But Kenya is a very important part of us. And of course, with the office, what we did was to now consider Kenya as the hub for East Africa, because we're trying to segment our operations in the future where we have a hub per region, so that everything does not come to Central, it goes to the hubs at some point, up until when we're able to get our physical locations. But thanks for your comments.
Thank you very much. And who else has a reaction, a question?
Stephen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Dr. Pascal.
I would like to ask Anthony something. Sometimes something that bothers me, but I think he'll be able to throw light on it.
Okay, carry on.
Anthony, having the experience of working across African countries, one of the things that sometimes people ask me, are we the same? Are we the same from Cameroon to Nigeria to Ghana? And you have actually have this moving from one country to another. I just want you to share light, if cultural-wise and also sometimes the way we react to things, our involvement, the behavior of the young people, how some people bounce back when they feel, and even the opportunities available. Would you say that almost all the things that Nigeria will have, Ghanaians also have it, or is so we are the same as Africans, but there's a little bit of differences and stuff like that? So if you want to share any experience of this, I'll be happy. Thank you.
Well, I think that to start with, I have been fortunate to visit all regions in Africa, apart from North Africa anyway. And one of the things that strikes me every time is the similarities that we all bear. We are all similar in some way. Of course, there's a negative. Many of us are suffering. I mean, there's lots of bad government policies, lots of lack of support, lack of this, lack of that, and all that. But then in the positive light, they see a lot of people struggling, a lot of people who are resilient, a lot of people who have never given up on their continent. For instance, I met Stephen just last year in Douala in November. And we also had a little chat, and that's all. We've connected since then. And I've connected with many people like that, and I've met many change makers as well, who are just like this, who just want to ensure that the continent is better than it is currently. Now, when it comes to culture, we all have, yes, well, our different ethnicities and all, but one thing that runs in our blood that I've noticed in all of us is kindness. In all the places I've visited, there's some level of kindness. You have people who are, of course, you have the, I don't want to use any negative words, but you have those who look at you as a tourist, and so you should have a lot of money, not minding that it's your life savings you're using for the trip. And then, but one thing that bothers me, in all honesty, is that even though there's some similarity between all of us in Africa, Africans treat Africans differently. Here's an example. If I'm to travel to Tanzania, for instance, and I want to climb the Kilimanjaro, I'll be charged as a foreigner, which is about $2,000 or thereabouts, or 2005. The same charges that somebody from the West would be charged, but I'm an African. The only consideration that they could give is somebody who is from the same region, maybe the East African bloc, for example. If you travel to Kenya, the same thing. If you want to visit the national park, your charges are extremely and exceptionally high. So there isn't any consideration per se for Africans to do, to also have to blend with other Africans as we are. And then when it comes to support, sincerely, it is almost impossible to get support from Africa. I don't know why. Now, in 2020, I'll share this experience with you. I was in Zimbabwe. We had a program. It was being coordinated by a group that had funding from the EU. And in one session, we sat in a round table, not round table, all on the floor kind of, but we sat around and we started listing organizations and where we put them closer to, our hearts. When it came to the AU, somebody took the AU out of the circle, just out of the circle. Another person said AU should be at the gate. The gate was like a kilometer away, because these are our realities. This is what we experience. The same thing with our regional associations. You hardly see where they support creativity or the creative arts. I mean, no offense, but Yali is not African. If you understand what I mean, it's not being funded from Africa. And so it seems that if we want any reasonable support, we are no longer identical, we're no longer the same, because our brothers, I'll put it that way, and sisters would not support us, which for me is, I think it's one of the most distressing parts of my being an African, is to realize that your own hardly supports you, unless if you get foreign support. And in the last couple of years, we've not got any foreign support. So it's from our pockets. We do the things that we do. But the resilience in us, because we've had some life-changing stories from people. I mean, we could easily have just said, you know what, we're packing up, we're not doing this anymore. Let's go and get a white-collar job. Let's do that 8 to 5, and then retire when we're maybe 70, build a house, whatever. But then that sense of fulfillment will not be there. And I see this in a lot of people. And that, again, is another similarity. We're resilient in Africa. We want to be fulfilled as well. Yes, many have given up. Finally, when you look at Nigeria, we are about 200 million. Our poverty rate, if I am correct, currently is probably above 50%. So you have a lot of people struggling, competing among themselves for everything, including prizes from literary competitions, including exiting the country. In fact, when this Chevening cohort, the ones that they just gave them approvals for, when they released their statistics, the statistics from Nigeria alone is the highest has ever been in a very long time. And reasons for that is people just want to go, people just want to leave, people just want, to seek something better. So I'm happy that we are having these conversations, because we don't know who the next change maker is from around us. We don't know who the next, maybe somebody who will be in the AU or ECOWAS or Southern African, whatever. We don't know who the person will be from amongst us. But the point is, let's keep pushing this narrative. We need to support ourselves. That's why, and this is finally, because I think I'm talking too much anyway, it is say that if you want to go far, go together, right? And if you want to go fast, go alone. We want to go far, and we should go far because we are Africans. Thank you.
So much. I'm grateful. I can't add anything to it. You really seriously have handled that particular subject. I remember my experience with Yali over the years, and also one of the moments, I think after facilitation, we were coming from Nigeria, and then we used the route through Benin to Togo to back to Ghana on one of the buses. And I can tell that the frustration, even at the port of entrance, have to tell you how you are not welcome as an African. But we hope that after this African trade thing happening, will probably make a change. Another thing I will add to everything you have said have to do with how little we know among ourselves. As a very strong advocate for African integration and also facilitating Yali, that has really taken me across some of the African countries, and more sitting down as a board member for Rhodes Scholars, selecting people from African country to go to Oxford University over the years. I just realized that among ourselves, we know so little. If you ask any African youth to tell you the former president of US, they can tell you their names and probably include their wives' names and their children's name. But if you really come to African country and ask them who is even the vice president of one African country, zero, have no clue. So I'm thinking the conversation also starts how much we need to know among ourselves, and then be able to promote us and realize that we need us to be able to really get to where we want to go. So once again, I want to thank you, Anthony. I'm grateful that you have actually done justice to the question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tony. That was very insightful. Thank you to Dr. Pascal for posing that question. It just really incited a lot in us all, particularly for myself. I don't know about the others, but perhaps they felt what I probably felt, I think. And any other reactions? Any other reactions such that we can equally gain time? We move on to the next speaker, would probably be Dr. Pascal Brenia. Well, the silence means we are all okay. Well, thank you very much again, Anthony, for those insights and what you were able to share with us about Writers Space Africa. And like you said, we're looking forward to the African Writers Conference, which is upcoming in November. And we hope to all be there in Ghana so that we can see how we all make the impact about making encouraging the literary skills in Africa. Thank you very much for your insights, and thank you much too for that presentation and for your feedback too, which you shared with us. We appreciate. And moving on to the next presenter of the day, we'd just like to have Dr. Pascal Brenia, who joined us a while back, and I think he's one of those persons whom I never really thought was going to be present, because normally he has a tight schedule, but he's been able to make it here with us. And we are pleased to have you on board, sir. And feel free to come on board as you have the mic.
Thank you very much, Dylan, and thanks so much for the initiative. I think this is one of a kind, because we always talk about creating or making impact. And I'm thinking that if young people sit down and say that I've got two, I want to help somebody to be one, then that automatically puts you in the third position. We only grow when we impact. So I'm glad that you saw this coming through and then you have taken the initiative. I think I want to have a conversation, and this conversation, I have not titled it, but if I have to give it a title, I will simply mean that be yourself. but be your very best self. So be yourself, but be your very best self. Okay, so I know that some people would like to be themselves, it's fine. But if being yourself is not your very best self, then that means that you are not yourself. And that is the kind of conversation lines I would like to look at. So let me welcome you all. And I'm glad to also see that Ajua from Yali is on board and the rest of the people as well. And also thanks to Anthony for that creative side of us as an African is so much needful. You know, sometimes we talk about creativity and it looks like recycling has been the order of the day. We want to recycle everything, and countless occasions I've seen when we deploy certain methods and solutions to African problems that never able to really help. And that is why when I see creativity in every form, I'm very happy about it. And I think you have all our support and the best that we can do for you and the continent. But let me see if I can share my slide with you. There is, so Stephen, see if you can just give me access, and I will share just about 1-2 slides as to progress with this conversation. A beautiful continent with beautiful people. We all have aspiration. We're looking to travel. Nothing is going to stop us, and not our boundaries, sometimes not our bringing. Every African person can tell you a story about how they grew up. We've all seen poverty. We all lost our parents. In fact, we've seen poverty in a different form and shape. We have passed through it. We are survivors. Sometimes people refer to us as a legend, and I think that name fits us. That is Africa. We don't give up easily. We will do everything possible. But I tell you what my disappointment was. Growing up most of my life outside the country, precisely in London, Britain, I had a guy that worked as a supervisor. We had a lot of conversation. In my workforce, we do have people from other countries, and we have African brothers. Anytime it's lunchtime, they will eat, and we can all go and put our spoon or our hand into the food, and we just eat from one bowl. The last time we all had this gathering together, we were very happy. Everybody's smiling. And this, my friend, who is a supervisor, pulled me on the side. Of course, he is not like us. So obviously, a white guy who really feels he wants to have a conversation with me. And then he said to me, I love you, Africans, and how you do your things. The fact that you can all eat from one bowl, we can never do that over here. And I paused for a moment to reflect on that. And he said, but one thing that shocked me is the sort of love and unity you share together, but you also talk behind each other. And you don't mind sacrificing one another just like that. I find that weird. I said, what are you saying? And he said that you see, you love yourself, that kind of love you show, but it doesn't reflect when it comes to your relation, because countless a time, one person will come and report that I should fire this person, I should take this one away because he's not doing this. Complain among yourself. From that very day, I said, look, we have what is rich, just as Anthony said, we have what is good, we have what is rich. But on the other side, I think there are quite a few things we need to put in order. That is more of an inspiration. When I came to Ghana and I formed Focus Central Ghana Limited, it's a company to be able to give a little bit of hope to an African child, to make sure that the young people. So I was fortunate to land a job with the British Council, who sent me back to Kenya, back to the UK for me to be trained how to train. Throughout my experience at the British Council, I do handle younger people from final years of this university. That is a fast track program. The fast track program led to what we called the professional development program, and that is the corporate entity. And I happen to be the lead facilitator for the fast track program that goes to various university campuses to give them employability skills, help them to be confident and be able to speak. And to the people I'm actually having a word with, I just want one thing for you to underline today. A closed mouth is a closed destiny. One of the things I'm going to push you with this short kind of admonition I'm giving to you is for you to realize that you need to speak up. We've been too quiet too long. And because of our inability to articulate ourselves, people speak on our behalf and they never would dance the kind of dance we want to dance, because when somebody dances for you, it's not the same. So a closed mouth is a closed destiny. It is time for Africans to rise up and the young people to talk. We need to speak about injustice. We need to speak about inequalities. We need to speak about poor systems that affect anywhere. And we need to also speak about our leadership, who sometimes appoint people who have no competent leading us, and they are leading us to nowhere. We need to speak. We don't have to wait until we are angry to cause any demonstration and destroy property. No, but we need to voice things out. We should never let anybody use us as a doormat. Neither should we allow people to put their limitation on us. The fact that they could not succeed, the fact that they could not combine. I always tell younger generation that you don't need to graduate even from university and become just an engineer. We need an engineer who is a medical doctor. We need an engineer who is a pilot. We also need an HR director who is an accountant. We need an accountant who is also a lawyer. This time around, it is possible in your generation to combine things so that you just don't become you, just you. As we spread ourselves across the continent, we need to be able to be multitasking. That is one thing that takes you far from where you are. So for speaking up, I really want to motivate you. I want to encourage you. We need to be able to get there. No limitation on you. You have what it takes. You could do a complete course at your university. You could learn something, and at the same time, you're learning from experience for other people who could not get to where you are. So if I'm sharing with you, this is just a picture that I want to put on the screen. That picture is a picture that I say, it says it's all in everything that I do. If you look at that particular picture, I've zoomed over there. Time permitting, I would have been asking you a simple question. Which company made this? And all of you agree that this is Nike. And my question still is, where is it written? And you all agree that is the logo. I agree. But the question I ask you, what will be your logo in your absence or your presence? Would your presence be felt when you are not present? I just want you to consider this. That will be my conversation point for me to finish. As we admit that this is Nike, we need to understand that when it's all said and done, the question is, what were you able to do for yourself, for your family, for your country, for the region and for the continent? What have you been able to do? What has been your impact? So if I have to start on a storyline, I'll be telling you of a man who traveled. He came back. The whole house was breaking loose. Everybody wanted a hug and a kiss, and they were all jumping to be able to hug and interact. And when all this was going on, a young man who had visited looked at this man with all the gestures. He was so overwhelmed. And when it was over, he went to the man and said, how long have you been away? And he said, 2 days. And he said, you travel for just 2 days and the house is breaking loose. I travel for 2 weeks and my wife and the kids want me to stay there a bit longer. 2 days, sir. I hope and I wish. But the man in his wisdom turned to this young man and said, don't hope and wish. Young man, decide. My house did not used to be like this. It was terrible, to be honest. But I made a conscious effort that for my absence to be missed, my presence must be impactful. So I started treating people fairly. I looked beyond my house, the community, the passerby, the people who are most dangerous. I find a way to even put them into productive ventures. I have lived my life to make a mark because I realize in this world, when you are worthy, people will envy you. When you have a lot of intelligence, people would definitely admire you. And when you have power, people will be so much fearful of you. But I also noticed finally that if you are born with a heart that is able to touch someone, even when you are gone, your music will still be playing. And that is why I've chosen to impact the world. The young man walked away from that day and he said, look, I think I'm living my life and I'm wasting my life. Who have I impacted before? As I was growing up as a young man, I used to pray to God. So whether yours is Allah or God or Jesus, and all my prayer point at a point in time one day, when I spelt it all to God, I want to build a house. I want to get a beautiful girl to get married to. I want to have 2 children, 3 children, nice car. I really want about 2 of them, you know, and then I really want this flashy phone to in my hand. And I want to dress in certain ways that, look, I have a name. This prayer goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And one day after all this ratting, I couldn't get up from my knees. I heard a voice saying to me, instead of focusing so much about yourself and what God can do for you, as you walk out there today, why don't you ask him so that you can meet somebody who is less privileged than you are, so that you can actually be so impactful and change that person's life? From that day, I tell you in honesty, I stopped praying too much for myself. My prayer for myself had become just short. And I tell you what, I've never seen poverty. I've never been unhappy. Every day I wake up, and sometimes if you ask most of the aliens, they will tell you, where do you get this energy from? I said, I don't know when I'm going to die. But one thing I know for sure is that the day God called me to sleep, I will never regret the moment he has given to me for me to live. What are you living for? What really pushes you? What motivates you? Nothing on this earth can ever stop you but yourself. Wake up and have the courage and the hope. Look into yourself and say to yourself, I hate this addiction. I hate this particular thing that is really wearing me behind. It's not making me to be myself and be the best self of myself. And for that reason, I'm going to let go of that so that I can focus on something that can take me far. As you reflect on these things, pray. And I think prayer is important. Pray. And God in his own wisdom will bring people onto your path. And these people will come and take you from where you are to where you want to go. The universe is always there to support you. Your divine power is there to help you. But there's a human effort, and that nobody can ever do it but yourself. You've chosen a good cause, but change is difficult. If I ask all of you to put your hand like this onto your shoulders, and I ask you to change your hand quickly and turn it the other way around, some of you will struggle to do it. Why? Because you are very comfortable when you do it from how you know how to do it best. But I can tell you how you do it best might be the best, not. So you need to be able to do it the other way around. But that is uncomfortable. That uncomfortability comes when there's a change. You can only make it. Nobody will stop you. I want to wish you all the best, and I'll leave the conversation here. And if you have questions, I believe that there will be, then I'll be able to address it. Once again, Stephen, on your behalf with your leaders, I want to thank you for the opportunity. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pascal. And can we just see within the chat box those reactions for hand claps and for those bubbles and smiles, or maybe thumbs up for this wonderful presentation from Dr. Pascal Brenier? Just do that in the chat box right now, or maybe do a reaction. Clap your hands with the reaction so we all see. Thank you, Cyril. Thank you, Flavian. Thank you. That's great. Dr. Pascal, we really appreciate you taking our time to be a part of this and then to impart those few words of wisdom onto the participants who are here with us. And we cannot thank you enough for them, for this very choice words which you were able to impart. And like I always say from my experience, I've been encountered you from the very first moment. It's been always this life-changing experience whenever I get to hear you speak. I don't know about the others, so I'll let them speak for themselves, and we can get their reactions and their remarks. If you wish to speak, you can just raise your hand. We'll give you the floor to speak. Or you can leave a comment in the chat box and we'll be sure to get it. Yes, Flavian, you're up. Unmute yourself. Flavian, your hand is up.
Bernard, you have the floor.
Hey, thank you all. Dr. Pascal, thank you so much. I remember the first time I listened to you was in the Layali platform. And one thing I took from you was How can you help others? Because we keep praying for ourselves, but yet we have many people there who are in need, which we can extend hands to. That statement alone has been ringing in my mind for a very long time now. And seeing you now, I just want to say thank you for the reminder. I don't know, I'm just so overwhelmed with what you said, these short words you made. I want to thank you so much because it is always like a reminder. And each time I listen to this, I am so very happy. Thank you so much, Dr. Pascal.
Flavian, are you there?
All right. While Flavian is setting up, we can just get the reactions from the chat box. I think we had okay, Flavian says the host is not allowing me to unmute myself. I think that permission was all given. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Okay, let me do that for you. But while we have that, Yawad, can you kindly please unmute Flavian? And we have a reaction from Engelbert, which says, thank you very much, Dr. Pascal. I already miss your absence because the impact in the choice of words you graced us today with your presence. I'm so happy and grateful for this session. Thank you very much, Engelbert. Dr. Pascal, that's to you.
Much appreciated. I think that speaks it all. And then I remember just by saying that your announcer is important. You know, always you need somebody to raise your arms. And I'm glad, like I said, as to how this is going. And I'm happy. I'm very, very happy that at least we still have young people who feel that they need to stretch more hands to help others. That kind of spirit will only change this continent within a quicker and a shorter time that we're all expecting to see in our lifetime. And I'm very happy again, Stephen. So I guess I say thanks, and I want to wish you all the best as well for the rest of the program. Thank you.
All right, Flavian, you have been permitted to unmute yourself. So kindly unmute yourself and then say what you have to say.
Try to do that, Stephen. It seems like I can't do that on my own side.
No, he actually has the privilege to do so on his own side, so I do not understand why it's a problem for him. All the participants have the option to unmute themselves. Well, Flavian, if you can't do that, you can just type what reaction you have, and then if we have some other person who has a different reaction, please. Any other person? Okay, can't seem to get any reaction from any other person. So I guess that's it. And just waiting, giving a few more minutes to Flavian because it says okay. It's like he wishes to type. So a few more minutes for Flavian to type, and then we see what he has. Well, I guess we can't get any remark from Flavian there, so we shall be moving on to the next part of the ceremony, which is the feedback session, such that the participants can equally share with us their insights about the feedback they have concerning the program, the difficulties they faced, what they think perhaps we could address, and later on, which is the third part of the day, which will be the award ceremony for the certificates. So for those with outstanding performance throughout the program. Mm. So there we go. So we're just going to ask most of the participants, what have been your difficulties throughout the program, and how can we address them, and what are those things that you've equally recorded as successes throughout the phase of the program as well? Just before we get into the feedback session, while we're waiting for the participants to get themselves ready for the feedback they have to share with us, I would just like to acknowledge once more the presence of Jasper. And if you do have a few words to impart, you can always come on board. Okay. Flavian says he's sorry, his network is actually bad. Sorry about that, Flavian. Yeah. And yeah. Some other person was speaking. Okay, Jasper, go on, please. You have the floor.
Hello, yeah, Stephen. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jasper. I work with the ROC as the curriculum content manager. I joined in late, a bit late. So I've heard what Dr. Pascal has shared with us. I think the words that he has shared is timely. And actually, as somebody has indicated in the chat box, is very inspirational. So all that I want to say is that the work that you have started with the skills that you have acquired from the program, I know that you are going to go far with regards to what you are doing to impact the lives of young people and connect across Africa. So all that I want to say at this moment is that our doors are open, and we are ready to support you and to provide whatever advice or guidance that we can, so that we can see you making an impact in your spheres of leadership in your country and outside of your country. So for now, I just want to say that congratulations. And as Dr. Pascal said, that this actually is somehow innovative, the way that you are able to bring a lot of people on board, including your facilitators in the ROC. I think this is a show of leadership. So once again, congratulations. Well done, Stephen and the team. I want to listen to more of you in terms of sharing the feedback from the sessions that you've had with your participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jasper. We really appreciate those your reaction and for your own feedback to us, from yourself to us and to the entire team. And there's comments. I'm not able to get anything. Marcel, if you're unable to hear, maybe you should click on where your mic is and then you join with your mobile network. Then you can be able to hear us. If not, it will become a difficulty. Kindly do that and let us know if you can hear us again. Okay, and just right on to the next phase for the next phase here, which is the feedback session. We would like to hear from our participants what it is that they think are the difficulties they face throughout the program, and how we can better make improvements on the program moving forward for the next batch, given that we intend to continue with this program after closing up the next phase of participants, such that we can continue to impart our community with personal and professional skills development, especially for young persons. And why not scale up from that zone of just the Northwest and the Southwest regions, the refugees and the immigrants within Cameroon, and maybe probably go nationwide as a result, to see that we can include more persons within the program. And it's only your feedback, it's only your feedback and the challenges you face and then the successes, such that we know what we did right and what we need to improve on, and where we can make it much more beneficial and important for others. So let's use this moment to get to share our insights on those. Can we have your feedback sessions, your feedback from the entire program, from the start right through to the end? Anyone from your end, can we have perhaps maybe Engelbert, Flavian, Fobaso, Cyril, Bernadette, Fola?
Hello.
Go on, Cyril.
Hello.
You have the mic. Cyril, speak.
Hello. Can someone hear me? Cyril. Yes, good evening, Mr. Stephen, and good evening to all the team members. On my own part, I'm very happy for being part of this program as a participant. And I must say it has really been a good program, very helpful for me. And I must say the team members, you people did well, always there on time, being patient with us when it comes to, especially when at times you log in, there's nobody there, just the team members waiting for us participants. And even when there are few, people are still patient enough to wait for the others, which for me, I really see that as showing a lot of concern, despite the aspect of the difficulty as regard to network back there in Cameroon. And it didn't end at that particular moment of using either. We started by using Google Meet. From there, we switched to Zoom and other forums like the YouTube. Like there was even a day there was no network and the team was really struggling for us to have a session, to an extent that they went to using WhatsApp, which that is really something I've learned to from the team to always be patient. And my own challenge have been just in regards to the network issue, because with the network issue, the attendance, and maybe from the evaluation, the team can also check maybe to see into the time frame, like most of the sessions are between 2 to 4. And if you see most of the people who are working, at that time is a busy time for them. Maybe they are running up from their offices, and if that can be looked into it, so that maybe next time you can give an opportunity. And I would suggest maybe from the evening, if possible, for the sessions, then it will be somehow preferable. So thank you. That's my own feedback about the training.
Um, raise my hand up.
Thank you very much for this your observation. I think in our next organization, we will take into consideration all the remarks that you have just done, so that we will ameliorate the quality of service that will be. Thank you very much. Anyone want to give a comment?
Oh, I would like to say something.
Okay, go ahead, Bernadette.
Okay, I want to thank everyone here, both the participant and the facilitators, and maybe our invitee. Thank you so much for this opportunity you've given young African leaders to share their minds and to gain knowledge. Overall, I would say the feedback was good. We had a host of guest speakers, and I would say they were really, in fact, their discourse was really enlightening. There are so many things that I gathered from the overall discussion. Somebody like Madam Camilla, and Madam Marceline, I want to thank them too. I would say everything went all well, a part of the problem of network, because sometimes as Africans, we have network challenges. So I know that is a common problem for everybody, and maybe on time, not being on time often. But I still want to thank those people who made it through, who came right there and were able to participate. So far, so good. It was good. That's what I can say. So thank you so much, Dr. Oyawat and Sir Stephen and everyone. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Engelbert, you have the mic. Go on.
I would like to start by expressing my heartfelt gratitude for this program. It has really been a life-changing experience. And I want to also take this time to congratulate the team and all the participants. One of the problems that we face is generally the problem of network. And I think it can easily be handled by creating like more other streams of communication. So for that network is a general problem. There are certain circumstances that we have little or nothing to do about it. But if we get like 4 different options where if one is down, we can switch to the next. I think it's going to be better. And then my review about the program, it has really been impactful and life-changing experience. We've learned a lot of lessons, not only on the professional field, but also on personal development. and everyone that every guest speaker came in with something valuable, came in with something beyond, like beyond our normal expectation. And the program, every other thing, the participants, the host, and every other person involved, they were so cooperative, such that there was one time we were having a session, we had a difficulty with network where Madame Camilla was presenting. She had difficulties on her side, but every participant, every host, everybody that was present in that session was patient enough. Like, she took about 30 minutes to come back, and within that 30 minutes, nobody left. Everybody was patient, expecting her to return. And with that positive mindset, she did come back, and we continued the program, and it pulled through. With just that cooperation, that spirit of cooperation and patience, it is enough for all of us. It shows that most of us participants were hungry for knowledge, were really thirsty for knowledge, and it is a good thing. And also the issue of time, as most of the sessions, like earlier mentioned by a participant, most of the sessions are being held in the afternoon, like between 3 to 5, 2 to 4. That is usually a very busy time. But despite that, most of us, we still took the grace and we took it as a challenge to manage our time to be able to attend. That shows the passion that we have for knowledge. And I really enjoyed the program till the end. Apart from that, I think every other thing was good. Every other thing was perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that feedback, Engelbert, and it's very, very important. I think those points have been taken down very dearly, and we will see how to address them moving forward. Thank you for your feedback.
Thank you.
Any other person? Any other person? I suppose not. Just kindly look at your screen. There are several questions on the screen. What did you find most valuable about the training? How has the program helped you grow personally and professionally? What recommendations or suggestions would you give to improve further programs? Share a specific instance where the training program had a positive impact on your work and studies. So let's just get it, perhaps such that we can hear that feedback. It's necessary for us if we have to make the program worthwhile. Silence means we are all in accord. So I would just want us to move to the next session today, which is the part 3, the certificate award. And I wish to just indicate that the certificate award, it's not particularly the certification for those persons who have completed the program entirely. There's a chat. I just want to thank you all, especially the hosts and presenters. I really learned a great deal. It was an amazing adventure that impacted so much. I will always remain grateful for Basu Noe. Noe, thank you for that feedback. Much appreciated. I believe you had equally shared a part of your feedback immediately after Joa did her presentation, so we do get the point. Thank you. Okay, and I was on the certificate award. The certificates awards are being awarded to participants, particularly select few participants whom we were able to notice their collaboration on the program to see how they were most effective and most participative. And for those persons who were able to portray certain attributes, they are those set of persons whom we are awarding this certificates to. As for the certification at the end of the training program, once we are done with the post-training survey, you would all be shared a link where you would fill a form. And once you fill out that form with the reference number for that was affixed to you from the beginning of this program, once you enter the reference number in the form, you would have the chance to generate your certificate and it will be emailed to you immediately to your mailbox. That is only upon submission of the post survey. So after you complete the post survey, you will be prompted for the certification after the post survey is completed. And I believe we already shared the link to the post survey. And take note that the post survey, you must use your reference to your reference number in order to enter the first part of it, else you can't proceed forward without the reference number. So take note of that and then you kindly complete that. So that said, we are moving on to the next part here, and I would just wish to stop sharing and reshare again such that we are able to see the persons for whom we are appreciating and giving the certificates to. And we would like to acknowledge a few persons, and I would like this to be read out by one of our presenters who is here with us. Any one of the presenters, Mr. Joa or Jasper, you can simply do us the honors in reading the first two sets, and then the next two sets, for a different person takes the next two sets, and then we see how to go through with that. So it should be coming up anytime now on your screen. And there we go. The first we have there for Mr. Joa.
Hi. Yes. Okay, I can do this one. Yes.
Sure.
Okay, good. Okay, so we have the first certificate of completion goes to Connie Engelbert, and that's for your outstanding performance on the intellectual potential program. So this is definitely just listening to the list of programs that you had to go through. And so I believe the certificate is well deserved, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Ajoa. And we have the second.
You're welcome.
The second, we can have Jasper, if you would do us the honors.
Okay, thank you very much, Stephen. So this second person to be awarded a certificate for completion of the training is Belinda Fuller, for your outstanding communication and punctuality throughout the channeling intellectual potential CIP program. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you very much. And the next, Dr. Yawat.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen. Certificate of completion goes to Mr. Fobaso Noé Leroy for effective interpersonal collaboration throughout the Channeling Intellectual Potentials program.
All right, thank you. And we have the next. And I'll just like to call on Akoni Ajimsimbom. Kindly unmute yourself and do us the honors, please.
Okay. The certificate of completion. This is the certified work Loic and Naya for outstanding performance throughout the China Intellectual Potential CPI program. I think from what we've all gotten, this is like something great. So I want to thank you for the whole step of going there. And I would like to encourage those who are here, who have not joined or who didn't take part in this batch, to make an effort to be in the next batch. I, for one, am a candidate for the next batch already. So I think anyone has the opportunity to follow them, because those who have started this are showing us a path, and I think it's the one we should all follow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Akoni. And Bernadette, could you please do us the honors for the next?
Okay, Stephen. A certificate of completion. This is to certify that Chesim Sire Munang portraying resilient in the channeling intellectual potentials CPI program. So, Mr. Chasing, congratulations to you. Thank you, sir. Stephen.
All right, I think that brings us to the end for those who were able to be a part of the program, and for the particular persons whom we're able to recognize. It reads certificate of completion, and rather it's supposed to be certificate of recognition. I guess I make that correction right now before we move forward, but the corrections will be effected before they are all emails to you. They'll be emailed to you individually for the work which you've been able to really portray. Thank you very much for all your inputs and for the dedication to the program. And so can we have a round of applause for them? You can simply just use the reactions, a clap, and then we can all see that. A round of applause to them all, please. All right, so that particularly brings us towards the close of our program. And we equally just wish to take our time to appreciate all the presenters and all the participants who were able to make it for today's session. And for the other participants who are not able to make it for today's session, I guess on the platform, you'll be able to make a lot of noise about it, such that those other persons who never really took part again would be able to appreciate what we're able to do. And like we said, we would share the link for the YouTube video once it's available, such that you can all watch it, rewatch the session, and equally maybe relearn again some of the insights which you were able to get from today's closing ceremony from our various presenters, because we are almost drawing closer to the end, a little bit much more earlier than anticipated. It's a very good sign though, and we appreciate you all for your time and your commitment and your effort, and it's a very, very hearty thank you from myself to you all. And I believe we can let my co-host, Dr. Yawa, to equally say a few words here before we go.
Thank you very much, Stephen. It was very, very good moment spending with you, sharing ideas. I really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate your punctuality. At a certain moment, you were those who were reminding us that the time is there, let us go for the meeting. So I do really appreciate all the comment that you gave, all your effort you gave, all the good moment we spent together. I also appreciate and I thank all our invitees of the day. You made our closing ceremony very, very, very beautiful. I don't know how I can appreciate you. All, as we always say, one hand doesn't appreciate enough. Thank you very much.
Okay, and we equally take our time to appreciate and thank the other persons who were able to join us, who were not part of the program, but who have been very ardent followers of the program. Since we were given the training, the webinar, online webinar series where for both the participants and other persons who were interested, we equally wish to appreciate persons like Akoni and Gebet, and we equally used to appreciate someone like O'Neill, who probably stepped out earlier, and appreciate all the other persons who were able to join us. It's a very, very hearty thank you that we're giving out to you. And the fact that you've been a part of the journey from the beginning right through to its end, it's a chance for us to really say you made the event worthwhile, and you made the entire training sessions throughout from the start to its end worthwhile too, because of your presence and your participation and the feedback too that you shared with us throughout the entire length of the program. And we really appreciate that a lot. And I believe it's almost getting to 10 p.m. sometime for those in Malaysia, and probably 10:30-ish to about for those in the Philippines. And I guess it's pretty late. And it's one of those things too that really made us to be worried about the best time to fit the program. And if we had considered probably the later hours of the day, we would have probably made the others who are connecting with us from afar find it very difficult. And that was the essence of the pre-training survey, such that we could sample the variety of inputs from the various persons and see which best time fits the entire program. So I guess it was based on data, which we did that, and perhaps it was not really the best, yet we are grateful that somehow the participants were able to rewatch the videos and meet up with us once when they missed out on a particular session. And just to let you know too that we are going to have a session on Saturday for one of the missed sessions which we missed out on Saturdays, which is on emotional intelligence with Dr. Shang Nelson. Due to technical difficulties, he would be with us on Saturday, as he equally indicated that he would like us to have that session. So do well to connect, and on the same link which we shared earlier, to be with us on that program on Saturday, 2 p.m. GMT, Central African time. And you would be sure to equally get some insights from Dr. Shang Nelson on that. And the post-survey is set to continue on, the post-survey is set to run from now right up to the end of, right up till the Monday, 11:59 p.m. And we hope that somewhat you will be able to complete the post-training survey. And afterwards, when the post-training survey has been submitted, you would equally be shared a link to fill out the form for your certification of the entire program to indicate that you've completed it entirely, without which it won't be possible. So do take note of your reference numbers and do kindly use them on your forms, in each of the forms that you have to fill out, and we'll be sure to get the feedback which you send in, and equally revert to you your certifications immediately after you have completed the forms. So thank you very much, and we really appreciate your time and your dedication and your efforts to be on the program. If there are any last words from our presenters, and the speakers rather, and our guests, we would like to have them before you go.
Sure, Stephen. Sorry, I'm in transit.
Yeah, sorry
but I
about
just
that.
wanted to, no problem, but I just wanted to congratulate once again your team for such an incredible work done. As I said, we're anxious to hear more about the actual program and planning, execution, and experience, participant experience, and all of that. So we'll wait to hear about that. But from what I've heard from this closing ceremony so far, I can see that it was a success. And I'm excited for you. I hope that you continue with this program. I hope that it's just like the commencement of something bigger. And so well done to you and your team, and congratulations participants for coming this far in the program. So congratulations everyone, thank you. And thank you once again for the invitation.
Thank you, Ajoa, for honoring the invitation. Any last words, Jasper?
Hello, Stephen. Just like what Ajo have said, I just want to say that congratulations to the team that actually put this together. It's awesome. And as I just said, we actually encourage our alumni actually to cascade the program they had from Yali. And I think that what you've started or what you began, this is the way to go, where you impart other people with the skills and the knowledge that you have acquired to make them better. So therefore, you can create a pool of young people within your community or organization that are capable to.
We can hear you. Go on. The line just broke, but we can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. So that made it possible for you to impact the lives of many people that you come across, whether within your organization or within the community in which that you operate from. And I'm sure that the participant who actually took the time and then participated in this series of seminars that you have organized for them, they themselves will become a witness of the value that have been added to their lives and the potential things that they are able to do with these skills that they have acquired. And then also that makes it an effort where you are also extending the network that you are building within your community and also joining other young people to create a change that we as an ROC are looking to see throughout Africa. And you are one of the few that actually is causing this change to happen within the period that the ROC is in existence. The focus has always been how the young people can actually take up initiative to actually lead change that actually will bring some sort of newness in the way things are done in their community. So again, let me end by saying again that congratulations. And we don't think that this is the last kind of activity that you are going to put together for a lot of people to benefit from. I will encourage you that you keep on doing this. And then, as I also said earlier on, whenever you knock on our doors, I think that whatever support that we can provide for you as an ROC, we will do that. So kudos and congratulations. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Jasper, for those last words. And it's a privilege to have had you with us, and a privilege to have all the other participants who were able to join us online. I would just like to kindly ask us to just take a group photo together. Can we just have those beautiful smiling faces? You can turn on your camera if you're comfortable. If you're not, then it's fine. I think we do have the name tags on your various handles, and it suffices too. And in just about a few seconds. Very lovely people. Great. Nice to see you all. Okay, a few more persons there before I can take the snapshot. I'm about to do that in a bit, like in 1, in 2, in 3, and there we go. 4. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, like we said, it's been an honor to all have you here, and we really appreciate. Thank you, Dr. Yawat. Thank you, Bernadette. Thank you, the entire participants and all our guests. Thank you too for all the other participants who join us from other areas around the world, and for your inputs too throughout the session. And we really are much grateful. It's a hearty thank you to us from us to you all. And do have a nice day and enjoy the rest of the session. If you wish to stay back and bond till about 4 p.m., you're free to do so. You can use this chance to get to know some other persons that you've not met, and then you can use the time to equally get to know each other. I think I'm going to leave the platform until about 4 p.m. Central African time before we close it up entirely. We can use that and maybe get to know each other. Thank you. You can leave direct chat messages in the chat box to get to know each other, or you can even maybe start a discussion online. You know, this is one of those fun parts too. And thank you, Ajoa and Jasper. Thank you, all the other speakers too. I really appreciate it. Do have a nice day. Engelbert, you have a comment there. It says came in late. I had to economize my battery, so we have blackout here. I really definitely have to go because my battery. Okay, you know, it's understood, Engelbert. Thank you very much. Yes, study good. There's a possibility to access all the other missed sessions. They are on our YouTube platform. Let me kindly share the link to the YouTube page such that you can access the videos from there. Just a moment, please. Sadigo, you should have that at the bottom of in the chat box there. We just added the link. You can use that to rewatch most of the videos that have been uploaded. They are not yet uploaded entirely because we still had to cut and edit some to make room for the others.